totally lose the whole lot. I go mould. It's happened to me a few times. So I like, in summertime I like to grow big sativa. But then again, if it gets too wet, like we had the floods and the wind, they away with it. So, yeah. So maybe I'll just have to keep on growing more. I think also with the medical marijuana thing, I think the demand for that's going to increase so much that I don't think I'll be able to grow enough for my own use, I think, to make it. So I'll either have to grow more or start buying off someone else. So yeah, so I've got plans for another plot down the paddock, so might do that next summer, I think.
For medical marijuana, are you going to grow sativa or indica?
Yeah, either one works.
Oh, either one?
Yeah, perfectly well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter what strain it is. The oil, I think, is basically the same. I've made oil from indicas and sativas, and it has the same effect, I think. I haven't had my oil tested. I'd like to somewhere. Lismore University won't do it. But I've sort of been talking to people, and I've sort of believe that the oil I make is more or less 100% THC, I think. And it definitely works, especially with pain relief, that sort of stuff. One woman uses it for menstrual pain. Yeah.
When you're making your oil, do you include seeds and stuff? Do you separate males out? Do you let them breed? Is it just like, like wild, or do you actually send some media made into oil?
Oh no, well with making oil, you don't have to be too careful about pulling males out, and you can make oil out of anything. You know, obviously the higher quality the buds, the more percentage oil you get out of it. But you know, I've made oil out of just like dust on the bottom of the barrel, and you still get oil out of it, a smaller yield sort of thing. Generally, but so I don't worry about the seedy heads or anything, or a bit of stems in there or big leaves. It all just gets turned into oil, and it all just makes good oil. But generally I found I sort of process about 10 kilograms pot at a time. Like I don't even think of in terms of pounds anymore, it's kilograms. So 10 kilograms of pot, that makes about, yields about 10%. So 10 kilograms of pot yields about 1 kilogram of oil. And that's with using ethanol extraction. Yeah. So I might just run through my little process of doing it. It's really bloody basic, simple. About a year ago, I only just started doing it. So I sort of looked online, you know, I watched about 50 YouTube channels about how to make oil made in America, you know. So there's tons of stuff on the internet about how to make oil. Everyone's got a little different process. So I just looked at all these different sort of ways of doing it, and I just worked out, okay, I'll just do it a bit that way and a bit this way, and I just worked out my own little thing, and then I started doing it on a little small scale, just with a couple of ounces of pot, you know, just to see how it worked. And I just used my gut instinct, okay, I'll do it this way and see how it works. And so I just worked out that little process, and I've just been using that process now for the last 12 months, and it just sort of works. So I'll just sort of basically take like half a pound of pot at a time, put it on a baking tray in an oven. So I bake it for 10 minutes at 150 degrees Celsius. Right. So I've got one of them little portable ovens from Kmart, you know. That's what that big. I've got sitting over in my shed, baking tray, half a pound of pot, dried pot, you know, rough, not manicured up. Bake it for 10 minutes, 150 degrees Celsius. So take it out, put it on a tarp on the table, and then crush it up by hand so it's into a powder. Just bust it up so it's a powder. So I put that in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, put that in the freezer. So that's roughly half a pound of pot in a powder form in the freezer. So then I use 4 litres of ethanol, 4 litre container, put that in the freezer. So the next day I put the half a pound of pot in a metal bucket and 4 litres of ethanol out of the freezer. Wooden spoon, stir it up for just 3 minutes, and then have a another container with a metal funnel, and we use muslin cloth, and then pour the bucket through the muslin cloth, strain off the plant matter. So you're left with like a brown liquid, basically ethanol and some cannabinoids, whatever, which I think is just THC. So yeah, by just doing 3 minutes in a frozen state, not getting any chlorophyll or water-soluble stuff, I think. So yes, I do that. Like, I've got a bit of a production line going, so I've got 10 kilograms of pot sitting there. I do half a pound at a time in the oven, and then in the freezer, 4 litres of ethanol. Do another half a pound, another 4 litres of ethanol. So I just work through. It takes a couple of days to do it. So by baking it in the oven, that decarboxylates the pot, activates the THC. So yeah, you can get through 10 kilograms of pot. So you need like 40 bottles of 4 litres of ethanol, so it's 160 litres of ethanol. You get across the road here. So then I've got like seven slow cookers. Get them from Kmart, $20 each. So I pour the ethanol into them, fill up each one, 7 slow cookers. And then it takes about 4 days, when the level goes down, you pour more ethanol into it. Take about 4 days to evaporate all the ethanol off. So then it reduces down, so then you pour it in, as it goes down, you pour it into one slow cooker. So after 4 days, you're left with one cooker still going with about that much liquid in the bottom of it. So then that's a pretty crucial stage to get to the point when it's sort of finished. So you're stirring it around, it's sort of like black liquid, like molasses. Stirring around on the heat, and also you have the slow cookers on a low setting the whole 4 days, not on high at all. The ethanol does evaporate off pretty quick. So 4 days it's all finished, 160 litres of ethanol, 7 slow cookers. So yeah, 10 kilograms of pot, so you're left with like 1 kilogram of oil, which is like 1,000 mils, 1 litre. Yeah, so it's that last stage, you stir it with the wooden spoon, and there's bubbles all around the edge, and when those bubbles sort of stop, it's pretty close to being finished. It's sort of like a liquid. So at that point, I sort of then turn everything off and pour that into a 1 litre Pyrex jug sort of thing. So, and then I pour it into like 1 litre coconut oil jars, glass coconut oil jars, and then put that in the freezer until ready to use it. So, yeah, so it's a black molasses type consistency. I think it probably has a little bit of ethanol still left in it. You could probably cook it a bit longer and turn it into like a grease black paste, like some people do, I think. But for my purposes, I found what works is at that certain point where you've got like roughly 1 litre sitting there with this black oil, that's the time to stop it. And it's a good consistency. Good consistency to mix in, 3 grams of that in one of these bottles with 12 grams of hemp seed oil. And that sort of works. So, but also, and then, okay, so I've got the oil in a 1 litre coconut oil jar in the freezer. So when I'm ready to put it in these containers, I get it out, put it in a bowl of warm water, stir it around, and sort of warm it up a bit in a warm water bowl. So then I've got a ratio, to get the 3 grams of oil to 12 grams of hemp seed oil in that container. I use like a 20 ml syringe, suck up 15 mils on the syringe, put it in that bottle. So then I know it's like 15 mils, which is 15 grams. The 3 grams of cannabis oil and 12 grams of hemp seed oil, that great ratio. And then you've got to keep it in the fridge. You've got to keep the hemp seed oil in the fridge basically, because that goes off after a month or so out of the fridge. So, yeah, now I just sell that. So basically it's 3 grams of cannabis oil in one of them. So roughly you get about 3 grams of oil from every ounce of pot, basically. So street value of pot's roughly $200 or whatever. So to me that's worth $150. And then someone else sells it, retails it, I just wholesale it to someone else. and I think they sold for 250 bucks. So that's sort of the value of the values in the how many grams of oil. So instead of like selling me pounds of pot to someone else to smoke, I sort of turned it all into oil, and so I still get the same sort of value. You know, I think it's so I get $50 per gram of oil. So it's 3 grams in the bottle, so I get $150. So, which is a pretty cheap rate. I've heard the going rate's about $100 a gram of oil. So, yeah, I'm happy getting 50. Yeah, I'm making enough out of it, so it's all good. Yeah. So that's what I'll just keep on doing now for as long as I can, you know. You know, if I get busted or something rather, I'll just say, you know, well, I'm making medicine, you know, what are you going to do? They can throw it in jail again, I suppose. But at least I've got some sort of little bit of defence there saying, you know, I'm making medicine, helping people, you know. So there's heaps of other people here making medicine also around here, and probably everywhere around Australia, people making oil, turning their plants into oil. So that's fucking excellent, that's good. Yeah. Any questions?
Question. You talked about at the start, you put it through the oven. Does that affect the cannabinoids at all?
Yeah, that process, that's the decarboxylation process, heat it up 10 minutes at 150 degrees Celsius. That activates the THC, turns the THCA into THC. Yeah.
But it doesn't affect the other cannabinoids?
Well, I think it activates the other cannabinoids as well. Yeah.
Helps the acid.
Yeah. Change the acid, THCA, acid into THC. Yeah. So if you didn't do that process, I don't think the medicine would work. Like it wouldn't, the pain relief and that sort of stuff. So you have to activate it, or decarboxylate it, they call it. Yeah, for sure. There are other medicines you can buy that aren't activated, and there's different purposes.
These days, like people make a lot of oil, but they don't really know percentages and things. And if we're trying to give it to people, and you're testing it, are you interested in, I guess people have to be pouring machines and that to get an accurate reading. Like you're talking grams. I've got a gram of oil, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like you want to say, well, I gave this person this. That's all they know. They were taking X.
Yeah, I'd love to get my oil tested. One day I will, I suppose. But another thing is, over in Colorado, like the government worked out over there the standard dose of THC, which is like 10 milligrams per dose. So one dose is 10 milligrams of THC. So I worked out, like assuming my oil is roughly 100% THC, which I think it is, then it's pretty easy to work out how many doses are in this bottle. So it's like 15 grams, 15 mils roughly. So that's about 300 drops of stuff here, 3 grams of cannabis oil and 12 grams of hemp seed oil, making 15 grams total. So 300 drops of that. 10 milligrams is a standard dose. So I've worked it out, so that 1 drop of this is 10 milligrams. Right, so that's assuming the oil is 100% THC, which I think it is. So yeah, 10 milligrams in 1 drop. That's the same as smoking 1 joint. So that's what they work out over Colorado. So yeah, so the standard dose is 10 milligrams. So that's 1 drop of this liquid is 10 milligrams. So yeah, I recommend people. I've given it a few mates now, and I say, just take 1 drop of the night time before you go to bed, and they say that works. 1 drop actually works for a good night's sleep. And a few people have just got the whole drop and just squirted the whole lot in their mouth, probably 10 drops. And the common word everyone uses after that is it's trippy. So yeah, it definitely works for sure. For seasoned sort of pot smokers, you'd probably take 10 drops and you'd be off your face for a day, or whatever. Yeah. So I've only actually tried it myself once. I took 1 drop one night, after a few home brews, and I can't quite explain what happened. It was quite sort of strange. I could feel it working in all different sorts of levels. It sort of was strange. So yeah, I'm not a regular pot smoker myself either, so never have really had it like that. I'm always been a growing pot, but never been a big smoker. Yeah. But yeah, that oil actually works. People say it works, it heals people, so which is good. Any other questions?
In terms of getting the information, how to make your method, is a video being made so we can buy the video? Or
Not at this stage, but I think probably by next year I'll have something like that. Yeah. I probably need to fine tune my method a little bit more yet. It's hard to get enough ethanol. That's a good sticking point. Place across the road I used to get it from, they sort of sold out a couple of months ago. And they won't have any more until July. So I did find out, you go online, looking for where you can buy ethanol, and just about every hydro shop sells ethanol. So I went to the hydro shop in Lismore, they got ethanol there, so I bought ethanol there lately. But yeah, they said the same thing, they're just about running out and they won't have any more till July either. So I wanted like 10 kilograms of pot, that lasts me sort of 1 month. So I basically need to do that process every month. 10 kilograms of pot every month.
Still and recycle it.
Yeah, someone told me that the other day, you need to still recycle the ethanol, condense it and reuse it. So I've got to fine tune the whole process a bit yet. Because that ethanol, that's pretty expensive too. Like 4 litres of ethanol costs about $80. That's $20 a litre.
You can also ferment your stem to create ethanol as well. The sugars to stem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You want to make proper moonshine, that is ethanol. So
Yeah.
you just do that for a still, you get that as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, a bit of rigmarole there. Yeah. I've heard other people use butane gas and carbon dioxide, and there's various methods to do it. So
Hexane's the best, but you can't get that in the country as easily.
hexane, yeah.
Hexane, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what they used to use for hash oil, which I'm guessing is the same thing, just 20 years difference.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I was talking to one mate yesterday, and he uses the butane gas, but it's got can only do about 100 grams at a time. You've got a small cylinder pot in there, about 100 grams butane gas. So he's a bit pissed off. He needs like a container for this big. Because like if you only get a couple of ounces of pot, you don't get much oil out of it. You get about 3 grams of oil out of 1 ounce of pot, which isn't very much. Not even a teaspoonful. And then it's pretty hard, if you only got a real little bit of oil, it's hard to actually work with because it just sticks to the side of the container. I found like, if I've got like the oil in a glass jar, to get all the oil out of that, always some is left behind on the sides of the glass jar, and there might be like still 10 grams left in there, you can't even get out. Sort of sticks there. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Yeah. So I was talking to one bloke yesterday, and he asked me like if the cops have ever been hassling me, since I've been out of jail, that sort of stuff, So, but the cops have been leaving me alone, I've been in jail 20 odd years ago now, and the cops sort of have shown me a lot of respect over the years. So I don't quite know what the cops think of me. A bit sort of outside the box, I think. I always lived where I live over in Kogg, and the local cops know me, they know everything about me, I think. And I went into the dawn service Anzac Day the other day on the motorbike, and the local cop was there, he's been there for 25 years. He actually came up and shook my hand. So first time I've ever done that, so I thought, that's good, I sort of like that. Yeah, no, that's the first time he's actually done that, but yeah, he actually shook my hand, so that was good. So maybe I'm sort of going mainstream and legitimate here.
Catching up with you.
Yeah, I'm just getting old, I suppose. Yeah. So anyway, I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing. You know, I'm sure the cops know what I'm doing. For sure, I get the helicopter around every year. But they don't sort of seem to hassle me. They sort of, I just see them. I get about twice a year they drug squad come up to Kogg or have a couple of helicopters in the Kogg showground, and they just, I live on top of the hill. I just see them going to Kogg up the Richmond Valley. There's a couple of hippie communes up the different valleys, and I sort of see them fly around, I see them fly back with big loads of pot hanging under the helicopter, and they sort of bypass my place back to Kogg and they go the other way. And one year they, at the end of the week, they were there a whole week, busting heaps of people and pulling out themselves at plants. I saw them, they were going around past my place. And then the last day, at the end of the last day, the Friday, 5 o'clock, I saw them, they just went up straight over my place, real low, real slow, at the end of the day, back to Kogg. Half a dozen blokes hanging out the helicopter looking down, not there. So, like that. We know where you are, Kogg. There you go, mate. We're finished for the week. That's all they fucking do, you know. Anyway, they've been leaving me alone, so that's all good. But, yeah, not good, yeah. But yeah, they can bust me any time they want to, you know, sure. But yeah, I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing. Right. So, any other questions?
No, sorry, I missed the first part there. You had the oil there for cancer and everything there, right?
Yeah, I make the oil and it does cure cancer. I've met 4 people who have actually cured their cancer, well, prostate cancer, old blokes, totally cured their cancer, my oil. Yeah.
And is that available here at all, or?
Yeah, not through me though, I don't sort of sell it retail at all. Yeah, you got to go looking for it.
Yeah.
But it is here for sure. Yeah. And not many people know I make it, except you people. But yeah, it's widely available, and demand increases every week. And I just keep on making more of it. Yeah, so it's all good. And it actually works. It does work. Yeah.
Kogg, what started you down this path?
Of making oil, you know.
Yeah, with providing medicine to patients.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been growing pot for 33 years now, say 1984. It's always been, well, I've never been a big smoker, but I've always been a grower, you know, to make a bit of money to provide the means to wife and 4 kids and keep the motorbike going and just live, basically, house alone. And, you know, well, struggled every year, you know, selling pounds to people and getting ripped off and fucked around. And, you know, I generally grow about 20 pounds at a time, roughly. But every year it's just got harder and harder, you know, everyone wanted, like, no seeds in it, no sticks, no big leaves, you know, totally manicured, and to get the pot to that stage takes so many hours and just sit there with scissors, you know, trimming it up, and a huge amount of time, you know. I did that for years and years and years. And then about 3 years ago, I come across a bloke who was making oil. So I was supplying him with pounds of oil for him to make the oil. So that was a really good setup, you know. He'd come every couple of weeks and buy 4 pounds off him, $2,000 a pound, so that was great. And then he said, you know, you didn't need cleaned up, manicured at all. And it doesn't matter if there's seeds in it or whatever. So that was a good little system. So that went on for 2 years, until a year ago, and then he sort of stopped doing it. He couldn't do it anymore for whatever reason. So then at that stage, I thought, well, I'll just work out how to fucking do it myself. You know? So that's what I did. About a year ago now, I sort of went on the internet, looked at about 50 YouTube channels about how to make cannabis oil, most of them from America. So yeah, everyone had different little processes, and so I just sort of took one bit from there, one from there, and started making my own oil just on a real small scale, see if it would work. Made half a dozen bottles. this stuff, the first batch, half a dozen bottles, and showed a few people, and they liked it. It actually worked. So then I made a bit more next time, and then yeah, so that's what I've been doing this last 10 months, just making oil out of the plants. Yeah. So I don't sell it to anyone else for smoking. I don't sell it to anyone else for processing. I just do it all myself. Grow the plants, make the oil, medicine, sell all that. So basically, I've cut my workload in half. I don't need to manicure plants anymore, and I get good money out of it. So it's good. It's good. I've actually getting out of debt. I'm getting ahead finally after 33 years ago. Paying off my gas loan, credit cards. Now all my kids are left home, so I'm actually starting to get ahead just this last 12 months. So that's good.
One day you'll get a new Triumph, eh, Kogg?
Yeah, Gary, yeah, new motorbike, that'd be good, yeah.
You drove it too, mate.
Like no, yeah, been doing this long enough, eh?
Yep.
You know, go to jail, all that sort of shit, you know.
Yeah, no, you've been a hardcore, mate. We're glad for you. We're glad you've been around, Kogg. Leading the way for people.
I remember Gary about year 2000 or whatever, we had that conference here.
The Cannabis International up in Vinci Main House.
Yeah, and they were talking then, you know, 2017 when it'll be legalised.
We're almost right. We're free to see.
Here we are, 17 years later, in 2017, and it's very close to being legalised.
We've never been this close.
Yeah, and I reckon, you know, another year or two, we'll just be like Canada, and we'll just totally legalise it, recreation level.
We'll be ahead of everywhere else on earth if we do it right.
Yeah, got to do it.
We do it here in Nimba.
Yeah, that's right.
Earth leading cannabis.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust the government to get it right.
No.
Nimban is getting it right.
Has gotten it right, Kogg.
Yeah.
Gotten it right.
Yeah. So this is the future right here with marijuana.
Yeah. Thanks, Kogg.
Anyway, that might do it. Thanks. That's it.
Wish you were still going to the smoke button, mate. We miss you. We miss you.
I've got a lucky charm here too. Yeah, I'll just talk about my little lucky charm here. Like, last year, I had an email from a couple of guys from Nauru, which is a little island in the Pacific there, right at the equator. So, and then they come and visit me in Tioga. These two guys from Nauru. Yeah, two natives of Nauru, and they just fucking loved me, you know. I gave them a copy of my book, and then they went back to Nauru, and they sent me, they made this for me. So, like a necklace made out of rock phosphate of Nauru, and so now I use that as like a good luck charm, you know. It works. Yeah. So that was good. Those two guys from Nauru, they were amazing. Like they grow heaps of pot in Nauru. Everyone smokes pot in Nauru. They don't drink alcohol. That's prohibited sort of thing. And yeah, they were just ordinary little growers from Nauru, and they just flew over here, flew to Brisbane, hired a car, rode down to Kogg. I met them at the Kogg post office, and they were just so happy to actually meet me. It was just amazing. Then I went back and yeah. So I might actually go to Nauru one day to catch up with them. Yeah. A very interesting place, I think. It's only a really small place, Nauru. I think it's only about 30 kilometres long, the island. And they've got like a refugee place there or something or other. But all the local people there, they're all pretty poor, I think. And the whole place has been mined for rock phosphate for 100 odd years. But yeah, there's a good little population of growers and smokers there, which is good in Nauru, like middle of the Pacific, which is great. Anyway, cheers.